1. How's it going, everybody? Today is Monday, September 2nd. This is the Aaron J. Show. Welcome back. Today is going to be kind of a free form kind of podcast, so more like a traditional podcast where it's just stuff I'm going to talk about that is currently on my mind, and hopefully you can relate to it, as is the point of all this. Of course, I sound a lot better because I've gotten rid of that pesky cold, and I have access to both of my nostrils now, so that's awesome. Today, like I said, it's going to be pretty much a free-form show. Just, talking about some stuff, just getting some stuff out off ye old chest, just shooting from the hip, basically. Unfortunately, over the weekend, comedian, you can't see me doing air quotes when I say a comedian, Kevin Hart was in a pretty bad car crash. Our prayers are with him. Hopefully he does recover. The car, if you've seen it on, pretty sure you've seen it on the internet, looks pretty bad. It's a modern day miracle that all three people walked away or were, still alive after that car crash. But like I said, definitely our prayers go out to them. And also, like I discussed yesterday, the victims of the Texas massacre, not massacre, but the Texas shooting over the weekend. Prayers go out to them as well. So now that we got that out the way, let's get to business. So I was talking to a friend of mine last night, a very good friend of mine last night, mainly about like relationship type stuff. She had a friend of hers who was complaining about different relationship issues, and she couldn't find a good dude and stuff like that, which is pretty typical conversation, I would assume, between females. But so we were discussing, or she and I were discussing, at what point is it the person? So like I guess it will require people to do something that most can't do or don't want to do, which is be deeply introspective and own their own shit. People, I feel like nowadays, and I don't want to blame social media exclusively, but it's definitely had a helping hand in it getting worse, where people can't seem to own up to their own bullshit. Like, everything is always someone else. Like, if a relationship doesn't go right, it's because of someone else. Which, your first couple relationships, maybe. But after that point, it's really on you, I feel like. Like, after the first couple breakups, you should know yourself enough to know what you want from a relationship, what you feel like you deserve from a relationship. And if you aren't getting that, or you're settling for less, really it's when you settle for less. Once you start settling for less, it's an old government thing, we don't negotiate with terrorists. Because the theory behind that being, once you start negotiating and bring it to one demand, then all of a sudden everything is up for grabs, which is true. It's just like we're dealing with kids. So what I'm saying, I guess what I'm trying to say is, as far as relationships go, once you start accepting less from somebody, or it just becomes you making all these, not amendments, you're bending towards their will, basically, at that point. Like, so if you want something, or you think you deserve a certain type of relationship, you shouldn't settle for less, theoretically. But because most people can't be alone, like the thought of being alone and by themselves terrifies them, they accept less. Like, I'm not going to name them because I don't want to put them out there like that, but I can name at least 4 females I know right now who are accepting less, I feel like, because they don't want to be alone. And they've all but admitted they don't want to be alone, but they definitely deserve better, because and what I mean by deserve better is this: they're not loose, they're not out here just fucking everybody or screwing everybody. I'm trying to stop cussing so much, but I can't help it. But they're not out here just screwing everybody. They have very low vaginal miles, which means, they don't have a lot of vaginal miles on them. So, but they don't want to be alone. Like, these are good women that, they're on top of their shit. They got their jobs, their job situation intact. For the most part, they are in charge at their respective jobs. But they just seem to either attract bums or they don't want to be alone. And I think that's really sad when people can't be alone, because it shows that maybe deep inside you don't like yourself. Which I could be way off base. Like, I'm not a psychiatrist by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just some yahoo who could happen to afford a podcast. So, I'm by no stretch of the imagination am I a qualified psychiatrist. Having said that, I kind of think I'm close to the mark on that one, because I love myself, if you can't tell. I'm a huge fan of Aaron J. I'm a huge supporter of Aaron J. He's awesome in my eyes. Like, I have no issue being by myself. I have no issue Being alone, I have no issue talking to myself. It's clearly right here. So being alone or not being in a relationship doesn't scare me like that. To me, it's, it would just be my new reality. Like, I'm so used to dealing with real life issues and real life shit that boyfriend girlfriend shit doesn't even register to me as real issues. And I've been told that in the past, like, you just don't care, you don't show your emotions. And it's like, well, because I don't care, I don't give a shit, because I know what real life issues are versus boyfriend girlfriend lovey dovey shit. You know what I'm saying? I know what real traumatic real life stuff is versus petly ass, oh, you said this about her, but you didn't say this to me, and you did. And it's like, okay, that's not important. I know what's important in life. Especially, I have perspective, so I know what's important in life versus what's dumb shit. To be honest with you, I may play along with some dumb shit, but when it comes down to the end of the day, I know what's important. I know what's not, and I also have no issue being alone. So, I think if more people didn't have a fear of being alone, they would stop accepting less from dudes, especially male, females. Dudes do it too. I'm not trying to say dudes don't accept less, because a lot of times dudes will complain about, and I hear a lot of dudes say this is why they date outside their race, because, and stop me if you've heard this one before, X, Y, and Z females always are gold digging. They don't appreciate us. They don't do this and that. But W and Y females, oh, they love us. They treat us well. They do this and that for us. Da, 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 da. So you want to be treated like a baby? Like, you want a mama? Is that what you want, my ninja? Like, you want a mama? Is that what you want? You should probably go home. But if you want a woman who not going to take your shit and go hold you accountable for your bullshit, then stick with what you like. If you want somebody that's going to take care of you, then to me that's bum shit, to be honest with you. Like, and I know dudes personally who have specifically, and I'll just call it out there. Everybody put your adult's hat on. Let's brace yourselves, about to get real. Most black dudes I've heard say, oh, I'll date outside my race, a white woman, Hispanic, so on and so forth, because they're quote-unquote less aggressive, or because they're quote-unquote not gold diggers. Bullshit. I know plenty of white females, plenty of Mexican females, plenty of females in general, from different races, who are just as gold diggerish as Susie Q Hood rat, if I'm being honest. So, to use that excuse is complete bullshit. Just say you like to date outside your race, or you like to date a different variety of females. Or just say, I'm mentally weak and emotionally weak, so I want to pick a female who's not going to make me man up and is going to accept the bare minimum from me, and it's not going to make me advance. Just say that shit. But don't say it's because they're all gold diggers. Not all black women are gold diggers, first off. That's a huge misconception. Some? Oh yeah, no doubt. There are a lot of city girls out here who think they shouldn't have to work for stuff because they got vaginas, and they shouldn't have to pay for their own meals because they got vaginas. But then when you cut into them about vagina, then all of a sudden you're wrong. So don't give me that's another topic altogether. But it's just this thing of, oh, I date outside my race because all black females are too aggressive, they're too mean, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, damn, man, first off, go put a tampon on, yo, and, like, man up. Like, to quote Cameron, pull your skirt down, B. Like, if you want your mama, go live with your mama. But don't sit up here and say, a whole race of people are one thing. And see, that's another thing that pisses me off. I'm going to pivot a lot. This is another thing that pisses me off. People will say bullshit like, I don't like when we all get generalized and thrown in one pot together. But will then do the same thing to their own people. Like, I've seen black dudes sit up here and complain all the live long day about, oh, white people just say we're all the same, and then within, like, the next breath would be like, man, all black bitches are gold diggers. And it's like, wait, what? You just did what you said they do to you. Like, you don't recognize the contradiction in your own thought process? Like, you sound like an idiot. If you don't want a woman who's going to hold you up to what you're supposed to be and make you do better, like, really you should want to do better for yourself. That's number one. If you don't want to do better for yourself, it's not a vagina on earth that's going to inspire you to do better. Number one. Number two, as a man, like, damn, bro. Like, I know it sounds antiquated and old school and kind of cavemanish, but, like, you got a penis, man. Like, as a man, you're supposed to want to be the best you can be. I know it sounds corny, but you're supposed to want to be the best you can be. I want to be the best I can be because that's who I am. That's who I was raised to be. That's who I was raised to be like, is be the best airdrop you could possibly be and walk to be your own drum, period. My grandma gave me a birthday card when I turned 18 years old. That said, no matter what you do in life, continue to continue to dance to the beat of your own drum, and don't listen to anybody else. Go after your dreams. Boom. Now, it did take me to 36 to realize the importance of that message, and to then start going about the process of doing my own thing as far as pursuing my own dreams, i.e. this podcast and my website and all this other stuff I'm into right now. So it took me a while to get there, but I got there. So I guess what I'm saying is, don't blame all females of one race by saying, oh, they're all too mean, oh, they're all too this, oh, they're all too that. When it's like, man, no, you just being a bitch. Call it what it is. And I don't mean a bitch in a derogatory sense. Towards them I do, because they're being bitches. But I mean a bit like they're being bitches. They're being bitch-ass ninjas, period. Yes, you will hear me say the word ninja in lieu of the other word, because I know multiracial people watch this show, or listen to this, watch this show. That was dumb. Listen to this show. So, plus at home, I'm trying to stop saying that word, because that's the last thing I need. That's the last phone call I want to get is, you know, Mr. Jenkins, your son told me, nigga, shut up. So, I don't want that. So, I say ninja. That's my thing. That's my personal choice. You can do whatever you feel like doing. I don't give a shit. But yeah, so pivoting back to the original topic, which was females expecting more and getting less. You get what you pick. Like, if you go into a situation and a dude wasn't shit when you started messing with him, giving him a vagina isn't gonna make him then become this great sterling, you know, monument of a man. Like, he wasn't shit when you met him. If you met him on his mama couch, and then you fuck him, and then you think, oh, after he finales or whatever, that all of a sudden he's gonna be this, you know, oh, I'm motivated. I want to go out and do something with my life, and I want to treat you like a queen. And then, no, you dummy, that bum is gonna be a bum. He's just a bum that got laid. Like, nothing's gonna change to him. I've never seen a dude go have sex with a female, and then after he gets done, comes out like, you know, woke. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you've seen the old things where a dude will go to jail and find Islam. I've never seen that happen once a dude gets done. You know what I'm saying? I've never had that moment of clarity where I get done, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go write the next great novel. Like, no, that's never happened. So, it really just pisses me off when females think that they're you know, it's just such a, you know, vaginal hubris, where it's like, you really think that much of your vagina skills that you think you can, you know, bang a dude into being a upstanding member of society. It doesn't work like that. You date a bum, you fell in love with a bum, own up to it, and call it what it is. But don't sit up there and then, you know, and then I hate when they do the same thing dudes do, where all of a sudden, because they chose a bum and got pregnant by the bum and got multiple kids by the bum, that all of a sudden all dudes are like that because they share similar qualities. No, it's just some dudes have similar qualities. That's like, I'm pretty sure you've heard of a female be like, oh, all you do is sit around and play 2K. My baby daddy used to do that all the time, and he's a bum ass. And it's like, well, no, 2K is a pretty fun video game if you haven't played it, so that's not true. It's just they have similar qualities. All he wanted to do was smoke weed. My baby daddy, that's all he used to do. Because weed is awesome. That doesn't mean he's a bad person. That just means he wants to smoke weed, probably to calm himself down from having to deal with your crazy ass. Because you picked bums in the past. That's not my fault. That's like if you go to get a job. Prime example. Best example possible. You go get a job, right? You go into the job, you're working there, and then your boss comes up to you, pushes you to the side, like, hey, so-and-so, can I talk to you for a minute? We're noticing you're exhibiting behavior similar. We noticed that you go to the bathroom at 3 o'clock. Like, yeah, I have to use the bathroom after I drink water. Well, so-and-so who got fired for stealing, and also the other individual who we hired before that, they got fired for stealing. They used to exhibit the same behavior, so we're going to have to keep an extra close eye on you. Like, you'd be offended. Like, wait a minute, hold on. So, because you hired thieves and pieces of shit in the past, all of a sudden, because I exhibit one characteristic like them, I'm like them? Like, what's the psychological sense in that? People display similar attributes. I heard that Hitler enjoyed painting. I enjoy painting every once in a while. Does that mean I'm Hitler? No. That just means we have similar characteristics. I really don't know why I dragged poor Hitler into that one. But you know what I mean. I like saying poor Hitler because it makes people get upset. But it's just, Ladies, man, like ladies and fellas, like stop doing that shit. Like just own up to your bullshit. If you pick bums or you pick ain't shit females, boom. And then another thing with fellas, listen, the Bible says it clear as clear as day. Don't cast your pearls upon swine, which in the Bible, of course, it meant don't speak on godly things and things of spirituality to people who aren't godly in spirituality, who aren't going to accept it, and then don't get mad at them for not accepting it. That's basically what it meant. That was the breakdown of it. But for the purposes of this one, I'm going to use it as you go around a bunch of females who don't have shit, who can barely afford to weave on their head, and you go around them with all your trappings on, your pellies and your, I know I sound old, your whatever new fashion champion sportswear, which I never thought would catch on. You go around with all your, dope boy gear on, your dope boy uniform. That's what we used to call it. Me and my cousins call it. You got your dope boy uniform on, you got your chains and your cardies and this and that. And then you get mad at her because the bait you bought that shit as bait. The bait you bought worked. So now you're mad because the bait you bought worked. And now she's a gold digger? How does that work? You went out to buy all that stuff not because you need the glasses, because oftentimes people that wear cardies don't wear glasses. You went out and bought all that shit to trap her, trapped her, got her, hit her, and then she asked you for money that you explained that you lied to say you had, and now she's a gold digger? How does that work? I think in that situation, it's more so the dude than her. That's one. Now let's go to the females. You said he was attractive. You found out about it. First off, people at your job told you he was a bum. Your homegirls told you he was a bum. You did your own research and saw he was a bum. You saw he was on his mama couch in the basement dweller. You saw that he exhibited no signs of ambition. But, he looked good, yo. He got them brown eyes or whatever girls like nowadays. Oh, you see his print? And that's what it usually is. I don't want to call a spade on that one. I've seen dudes go after hood rats because they got a fat ass. And I've seen females, strictly because of a dude's penis size, go completely gaga over him and like completely ignore the fact that he was a bum until he displays bum behavior. Then he ain't shit. Whereas like at what point after, I'll let you slide with one person. One dude may slip through your radar and may, get through the shield, so to speak, if I could reference Star Wars for the first but not last time during this podcast. They got through, their ship was able to get through your shields and destroy the Death Star. I've seen it happen before. So, okay, I'll give you the one time. But if it's a history, like if it's an established history you have, where you just attract bums, or you accept a bare minimum, maybe, like I said, maybe it's you. Maybe it's time to take a time off, go to your local shop, go to your local website, buy you a battery assisted friend for when, for the midnight hour, so to speak, and take care of your urges that way until you become secure enough with yourself to know your worth, know what you should accept, know what you should accept and what you shouldn't accept, and know what you want from a relationship, life, and a dude in general, besides some good penis, and then you right back to square one. So he come through, he, pull out the yardstick or whatever, boom, bang, boom, bow, knock it out. Once you get done, your life didn't change at all. Like, you just had a momentary pleasure, but he still ain't shit when he's done. Like, he's still gonna display the same bum tendencies. He's gonna go right back to his mama house because she calling him to come clean up his basement. Like, so, I guess what do you expect from people if you expect less from yourself? Is basically the point I'm trying to make. So at what point do you say to yourself, you know what? It's me. I make bad vaginal choices. I need to do better with my life. I need to make better choices for myself, for the children I have now, because I can't tell him to put on a condom. God forbid. So it's just something that frustrates me. So we're going to slightly pivot to something similar. Has anybody ever quit a job and you noticed that you all of a sudden got treated really awkwardly or really weird and standoffish when you announced you were leaving? I'll pause for that. Let that sink in for a second. All right, so it was a situation I was in this year. I'll just put it how it is. And I've noticed it that happened to me. And at first I thought it was just me, but I heard from others that have quit different jobs and went on to different careers that they got treated really shittily as they're about to leave. And I think it's because managers sometimes are fake. Oof, I know. I told you put your hard hats on. I think it's just fake, to be honest with you. It's just good old fashioned fake shit, fugaziness. Like before you quit, everything's hunky dory. Management is all, how can we make it better for you? What's going on? How's the kids? How's this and that? Oh, it's raining outside. Make sure you pack an umbrella. All this type of shit. We're gonna have a pizza party. All this, all that managerial, blowing smoke up your ass type shit. And then when you say, oh, you know what, I need to be closer to home, or I found a job that's paying me more, that's closer to the career I want to do. I'm unfortunate. It's been real. I've had a good time here. I like the people, but I got to put in my 2-week notice. I got to go. You can almost feel the tension in the air get thicker. You could cut it with a knife, because then it becomes this thing of, like, it's almost like a relationship breakup, where you could tell somebody, honestly, you could pull a girl to the side or a guy to the side and be like, listen, this was fun. We had a good time. I love you. But for whatever reason, I see myself want to do stuff outside of here. And before I hurt you or do something stupid, I'd rather leave, make sure everything is cut and dry, cool. And then all of a sudden she flip out on you, and all of a sudden, 2 days ago you were the second coming of Mr. Marcus, and now she going at your penis size. You know what I'm saying? Or it's one of those situations where, all of a sudden your little quirks were really cute and adorable 2 days ago. But now they ain't shit, that irritating shit you do, how you breathe fucked up, all that stupid shit you doing, that dumbass video game you always playing, all the little shit that was cute. Oh, girl, I'm sitting over here playing his hero while he playing Halo, or, girl, we just sitting up here watching Stranger Things. All that stuff was cute. Then when you tell her, it's not working out, this and that. And I've seen dudes, like I said, I've seen dudes date females, it's not working out, blase split, all this kind of stuff. Oh, your lame, weak ass. All you want to do is watch that white people shit. Everything you did was, all of a sudden it's a negative. And it's like that when you quit a job. It's like, dude, you was talking to me and cool with me before, but I say I want to quit, and all of a sudden I'm the black sheep. I'm the leper of the colony. You don't want to talk to me. You only talk to me because you feel like legally you have to because you're a manager. It just get real fake real fast. I know when I left my last job, and I'm not going to mention too many names because I'm not paid like that. Well, I am petty, but whatever. And enough time has passed now to where I'm not concerned about burning bridges because I know I'm not going back there. But I told them, because it got really rough. It got really, really rough. And now I got time to actually talk about it and suss through it and explain it, the situation from my point of view of what was happening. My life had become stagnant, and that's not me at all. My life had become go to work, go home, be dad. 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 Monday through Friday. Saturday and Sunday, wake up with the kids, cooking breakfast. And Saturday and Sunday were the only days where I could be me, it felt like. Like, those days felt like I was Aaron again. And I just started feeling down. Like, I just started feeling, not sad, but you're like, man, I gotta go to work. Then you checking the schedule to see who worked. That's then your whole day is based off who was on the schedule that day. And it just stopped being fun. Like, it was a fun place to work at. It was fun people there. I mean, some have passed on. Some have went to different jobs, but it was fun. But management kept making it not fun. Like, they kept over-managing it, if that makes any sense. They kept over-managing everything. They kept, nitpicking. And this became this. And this, yeah, you did this, great. However, you left that piece of paper on the floor. Stuff like that. So it got really petty really fast. And then it became this thing of, is this what you want to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this what you want to do with your life? Is this where you want to be with your life at 34? Or going 30, I was 35 at the time. About to be 36. You want to do more. You've been told you could do more. You've had everybody you've encountered in your life tell you, you should be doing this and that. You shouldn't be just doing retail. But I had to pay the bill. I felt like I got to pay the bills. I know how dare I dream? That was my whole standpoint, was how dare I dream? How dare I think I can do more? I'm just supposed to work in retail, go home, be a dad. I had kids, my life is over. That's how I legitimately thought. And then I'm like, wait a minute, no it's not. Like, you can have kids and still put the kids to sleep like I do now. Put the kids to sleep, work on your business. You know, when the kids go to school, go work out. Go, you know, to get your brain going. Then come home, boom, knock some ideas out. Think some stuff through. You know, write some ideas down. Shoot some ideas out. Pilot them out. See what works. We don't workshop them. See what works. See what doesn't. You know, try to do something in your life that you want that makes you happy. Like, you don't want to be just working to pay bills. Like, you don't want to be just a cog in the machine. And I become a major cog in the machine, and I didn't like it. And then I realized through seeing other people who I thought were way better associates than me get treated, I mean, shitty when they were about to leave. And it's like, oh no, y'all was just praising this person 2 days ago like they were the best thing since sliced toast, and now they ain't shit. Now they this and that. Now, you know, this, you treating them funny. And it's like, oh shit, we're replaceable. Like, I always knew we were cogs in the machine, we were replaceable. But then it got really obvious really goddamn fast. And then I was like, okay, we can do more with our life. Like, we're relatively creative. We got some type of sense of humor about us. People like us. You know, we can communicate our ideas somewhat eloquently without saying, oh, every 5 seconds. I try to stop doing that. So what's the deal? Like, what do you want to do, Aaron? And I had to literally talk to myself and say, Aaron, what do you want to do with your life? Is this what you want to do? Do you want to go to work and be miserable every day and almost punch your boss in the face? Do you want to deal with nonsense? Do you want to get treated like shit and you're only trying to help? Do you want to get accused of being a rebel rouser when you're literally just trying to help people that are also miserable at work, not be so miserable at work, but still somehow you get called a rebel rouser, you get accused of, you know, inciting dissension in the group, you know, because I can't just abide by bullshit. Like, I can't just sit there if I know dumb shit is going on and keep pushing it and enforcing it. I can't feed people the Kool-Aid. That's not my style. That's never been me. That's never been me. My aunt can tell you right now that's never been Aaron J. So it then became this thing of, well, what do you want to do with your life? So I had to sit there, had to have some tough decisions, had to have some tough talks to myself. And I'm like, we can start all the way over and get a new job and start from scratch. We can take a pay cut. We can go somewhere else and we can be happy. Or, sorry about that, I had to get a drink of liquid. So yeah, but basically I had to think about what I wanted to do. And I just had a real life conversation with myself. And I sat down and I said, listen, we know we want the best for people. We know we're not leading people astray. We're not what they say we are. But the common, common belief among everybody, I stopped because I don't give a shit. And because I don't give a shit like that, and because I don't care too much about what people think about me like that, like, it doesn't affect my day-to-day life. Like, your opinion of me really doesn't matter if you're not in my top 5 people whose opinion I care about, period. So I didn't control my own narrative. So the narrative got away from me, and then it became this thing of, oh, Aaron's a shit starter. Aaron, he incites negativity and this and that. And it's like, well, no. If people come to me with issues, I do my job as a supervisor and as a member of the supervisor staff to listen to them, let them vent, and usually the issue subsides and goes away because the person just had to get it out. I'm not going to just sit up there and when they start complaining be like, yeah, but the company says, like, I'm not going to read them the company Bible. That's not my style. That's not my MO. Period. Flat out. So I'm like, okay, we got to figure out something else. So I'm at home one day picking out my hair because I got, long hair or whatever. So I'm picking out my fro or whatever. And I'm listening to Joe Rogan, who, God bless him. Sorry about that phone ring. So, yeah, like I was saying, Joe Rogan had a speech about how, instead of bitching about how bad your life is, why don't you use that time to actually do something creative? Why don't you use that time instead to be more, to do what you want to do in life outside of just working to pay bills? Like, that's not the way we were meant to be, period. So from that, once I heard that, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, oh shit. Like, I had to sit down. I had to literally sit down because everything instantly became clear. Everything was clear. It was a moment of clarity. Like, people talk about having moments of clarity all the time. I literally, real life, had one. So you could say somebody that had one. I had a moment of clarity where I realized, oh shit, we don't just have to go to work to pay bills. We can actually work to provide for our family and do what we need to do outside of that to better, not necessarily better ourselves, but do what you want to do. Like, I want to do some, like, entertainment stuff, but not. Sorry about that. I keep having to stop to answer the phone. Where was I? So, yeah, moment of clarity. So then I realized, okay, what do we want to do? We like cracking jokes. We like pop culture. We like critiquing pop culture. Enough people have told us in our lifetime that we're somewhat humorous, that we have a somewhat fresh take on stuff. Why don't we do something like that? So I'm like, okay, what can I do in that realm that's not too time consuming, if that makes any sense? Because you get 24 hours in a day, but I enjoy some type of sleep. I usually only get 5 hours max, but I enjoy the 5 hours. So what can we do? So I say, well, you know what, Self? We did design a podcast. We did design a website long ago with different entertainment news, and I put my little poetry stuff up there, or different little short stories I write. I put it up there, stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, when we like doing that because we were able to use our creative juices. So I'm like, all right, bet we like doing that. I was like, well, what about a podcast? And I was like, what about a podcast? So that hit me. So that started that one. Then I said, okay, cool. So why don't we do something else? Like, what else creative can we do? What else creative can we do? I was like, you know what? We do have a son who's I'm talking to third person. I know. I was like, all right, we do have a son who is autistic. Maybe a book about, because I know a lot of parents who have autistic kids, and my generation especially. When we were coming up, this is a quick pivot. Sorry. When we were coming up, it almost was passe, or you didn't acknowledge special needs children in your family. I know that sounds extremely messed up by today's standards. Again, bear in mind, this was the 80s going into the 90s. Especially in my community, it was this thing of, oh, well, no, he just special, he just touched. Well, you could pray that away. No, you can't. To a certain extent, but not really. So people, that was the whole stigma. So skip ahead to now, our generation has to completely almost erase those notions and antiquated thought processes that were embedded into us by the older generation when we were coming up, and we had to deal with our reality. So my oldest son, of course, he's autistic and whatnot. So I'm thinking, okay, let's think outside the box. Let's write a book for parents who are new to having an autistic child, and so they can deal with and understand what their child is going through, and how the world is rougher for, not necessarily rougher for them. The world comes off as a scary place to them. So like noise, sensory issues, stuff like that. So I started writing that book, The World is So Loud. TM, because somebody tries to steal it. World Full of Noise, that's what I called it. And I got to finish that up, by the way. So I started that. So all right, cool. Podcast ideas. So I started doing little Instagram videos, seeing what people thought about them. Got a lot of views on that from Instagram. So I started doing little YouTube videos, stuff like that. Like, okay, we can do this. We can get past our blocks we put up for ourselves, and we can go back to being Aaron J again. And once I rediscovered who I was, I'm legit gonna throw that phone. So I just had all these ideas start sparking. So then I started getting rediscovered with the old me. The old me, which was adventurous. The old me that liked to go places, do stuff. Meet new people, discover different ideas, talk to people about different ideas, see what makes people tick. Like just, excuse me, get past all these blocks I put up for myself. And then once that happened, excuse me, I take a sip of my Gatorade. Once that happened, it was off to the races. So I think a lot of people, like I said, but this is all going, I know it's coming off on a whole rant about my epiphany from this year, but it was just this thing of, what do you want to do with your life? Okay, you want to do this? Boom, let's go for it. You want to do that? Boom, let's go for it. Let's do this shit. Like let's do it, baby. Let's get this going. And that became my whole thing. That became my mantra. That became the way I want to live the rest of my life, is what is important to you, and realizing that you're not just a part of a machine. You are an individual. You are you. Some of you are awesome. Some of you are just not. Let's just call a spade a spade. Some of you aren't exceptional. But like, you just gotta do what you want to do in life. Like, if you want to do something that's constructive. Now, I'm not saying like, I want to open up a successful drug business. Like, no, let's not go that route. But if you want to do something that's creative, and people are telling you, also, you have to do a life inventory and friend inventory, which hurts, but you gotta do it. Certain friends aren't your friends because they're holding you back, and it's usually subconsciously. Sometimes subconsciously. Sometimes people hold you back because they never dare to dream or dare to do what they want to do in life, or be their own person, they've always lived inside the lines. So when you step outside the lines, they're like, "Oh no, you shouldn't do that. Just go back to work. What are you doing these podcasts for? Go back to work. What's the matter with you?" It's like, I like being creative. I like helping people through stuff. I'm pretty sure somebody needs to hear this, so you can go fuck yourself. I said I was gonna stop cussing, but I get really passionate about people that hold people back from their dreams. But just do what you want to do. I know people this year who have quit their jobs, who've gone on to different careers, and they're crushing it in life. Surround yourself with those people. Surround yourself with people who want to do more than what they're currently doing and who want to advance. A horse looking up at a tree will never get to the leaves until he's able to become a giraffe. Boom. Period. That's you. Until you're ready to evolve, you won't be able to reach those leaves. But that's my thing about that. But pivoting back to my original topic, which was jobs treating you shittily when you want to leave. It's a bad do, but it really shows you how fake people are. And a lot of times it's like, well, the way you're treating me now is kind of the reason I want to leave in the first place. So you kind of just help me out. Like the day I announced my 2-week notice at my last job was my last day. Like they paid me to leave. Like they were like, "Yep, no, we'll just pay you the 2 weeks to get out of here." And it's like, what? I kind of wanted to say goodbye to my friends I made. I kind of wanted to have these last 2 weeks of, the department I got when I got it was shitty. So I want to fix it back to normal and then hand it off. I want to be able to train my predecessor. All type of stuff. Like, no, we don't need you here. And it wasn't necessarily that wasn't a group consensus. I know what the deal was. I'm not going to act naive like, oh, it was just a group consensus. They all want me gone. Nope, it wasn't the case. But let's be honest with y'all. But, that was that. So I'm happy now. I'm happier than I've ever been in life. You give dealt some bad cards, but you got to make them bad boys work. So I'm happy now. People are happy now. My kids are a lot happier. I have a smile on my face and a song in my heart again. I've rediscovered who I was, so I'm happy as punch. I highly recommend you do a self-inventory. Sit there, turn your phones off, put everybody out. You got a boyfriend or girlfriend, kick their ass out for the evening, and just think. If you need some pot to do it, go for it. You need to sip on some Richard Hennessy, go for it. But definitely take a self-inventory. That is so, so, so important. I feel like everybody needs to take a self-inventory and come to grips with their own shit and call themselves on their own bullshit and stop blaming other people, other relationships, whole races of females. It's you. Motherfucker, it's you. You're the problem. Sit there, deal with it, put yourself in a mental timeout and talk yourself through it. But don't sit up here and say a whole race of females ain't shit because you ain't shit. No, that's not the way that works. And we're going to end this on that was positive. I feel like that was positive. We're going to end this on a note. I want to see what y'all think about this. And I'm going to pose this question up later. Actor Malik Yoba came out, no pun intended, 2 or 3 days ago and said he's openly attracted to transgender women. Now, pause on that one. Not pause on that one like the Boondocks pause, but pause as, the end of a sentence. Period on that one. He's not wrong. He's not wrong from the sense of you're free to like whoever you want to like as long as they are consenting adults. Boom. That's my whole mantra on that. I don't care who you go home with at night. Now, was I raised to think differently? God, yes. Was I raised to believe that if somebody was a certain orientation, they somehow were wicked? Yep. You sure did damn tootin' I was. Do I believe that now? Nope. Because I've witnessed and met people in life who were homosexual, who were transitioning into becoming. I worked with an individual at my old job some years back who was transitioning from female to male, and you could tell it when you got up close enough. But it never stopped our friendship as far as us being able to talk about comic book shit. Like, biggest nerd ever. Loved Legend of Zelda. So I never used that as a slight again. I'm not trying to say, oh, look how PC I am, because I'm not. I'm furthest thing from PC. But I don't have an issue. Like, I don't care. Like, that's just it. I don't give a shit. Like, I literally do not care. What you walk around as or identify as does not stop my bills from coming in. It doesn't stop my car from needing gas. It doesn't stop my cell phone from needing charging. Nothing in my life changes because of what you want to do. Period. Do what you want to do. I don't care. I legitimately do not give a shit. If my kids see you out and about, like, mommy, didn't that used to be so and so? Yes, it did. And I will have that conversation when I got to cross that bridge. Now, having said that, I don't think school should teach transgender. Not I don't want to say transgender issues. Transgender subjects, because, and I stress this, that's the parent's job. That's not yours. School is arithmetic. The 3 R's: reading, writing, arithmetic. That's it. That's what school is. Reading, science, spelling, math, music, gym. Boom. Lunch. That's school. I don't want you teaching my kids your personal, because I feel like once you get into transgender issues and homosexual issues and that whole movement with the Alphabet Boys, as Dave Chappelle called them, God bless them, the Alphabet Boys, then you open up a whole can of worms, because then that's why you don't teach religion in school, because then that becomes your personal shit that you're imparting to those kids. You shouldn't be doing that. I want you to teach my son how to read with understanding quickly, how to be able to read something, comprehend it, and be able to recite it and tell you the gist, what happened, when, who, what, where, why, and how. Boom. I want you to teach them nouns, verbs, adverbs. Boom. Teach them how to spell. Teach them two, and two. Boom. There. Synonyms and homonyms. All that good stuff. I do not want you teaching my son or daughter about how they feel inside, quote unquote, and if they want to identify themselves. A kid don't know that. A kid doesn't know that he wants to. I don't think. Again, I don't think. I want to preface it with that, because I don't know. I don't know what goes on in the brain of a child who may be dealing with a transgender issue, as far as mental thing of feeling like they should have been born a boy and they were born a girl. I would not begin to try to even open that can of worms. Having said that, you shouldn't be teaching a kindergartner or a first grader that stuff. You should just be teaching them the basics. Let me teach them life. That's my goddamn job. Let me teach them life based on what I know and what I feel like they need to know. Certain stuff in life you need to learn on your own. Period. I don't want a school teaching my kids how great unprotected sex feels. That's on me to tell them, or for them to discover on their own, and that's their choice. It feels amazing. But that's my personal choice. So you shouldn't be teaching kids that. That's I want to say that too. That's pissed me off. But with Malik Yoba, I was really surprised he said that, given how historically homophobic, call it what it is, given how historically homophobic and just aggressively almost sometimes homophobic it is within the black community. I mean, I've heard white people that I've worked with said they had issues when they came on this and that, but nowhere as severe as the black community. And I want to say it's because the black community is also really, really deeply religious, but deeply, deeply hypocritical. Let me explain that. So, I don't want to generalize. Having said that, I'm calling it what it is. Most black families will accept a pimp. Most black families will accept a drug dealer. Most black families will accept that their daughter is a stripper. God forbid either of those three come out as gay. Then they can't go to church that Sunday. Then that's the talk of the church. Meanwhile, the whole choir is half. But again, I digress. So I was really shocked that he said that. But I wasn't, because I called this a few years ago. You all wouldn't know this because I don't think I was on Facebook and social media heavy like that then. But I said it's going to take one person to come out and say they're attracted to a trans woman. And it's going to open the floodgates. And it's going to start the dialogue within the black community of, do we need to rethink our stance on homosexuality and judging our own? I've heard of black men get judged so bad for being gay that they've had to completely leave the state and relocate. Atlanta. So we're the worst on our own historically. we definitely we treat each other shittily when it's something that goes against the grain of what we feel like blackness is. So for him to say that, I really was like, wow, that's deep, because our community does not accept that shit. And I know somewhere somebody's gonna listen to this that's a member of the LGBT community and be like, yeah, you hit the nail on the head. They are the worst with that, and I think because we're so religious, and our religion often it clouds our judgment of being basic human beings. If your child comes up to you as an adult and says, I don't think they know they're gay, they got a boyfriend, this and that, and your first response is aggression, or picking up the Bible that's near you and throwing it at them, or when they're asleep pouring holy water on them, that's a bit excessive. You can feel how you want to feel about homelessness. I'm not telling you to be as, I don't want to say liberal as I am, because I'm not liberal. I'm not either way. If one side has a good point, I'll agree with you. I'm pretty gray as far as that goes. And just in life in general, I'm pretty gray on issues like that, because whoever you go to bed with at night is your business. Because you could say the same thing about me being a whoremonger half of my life, and I have no place to judge anybody. Period. I know my sins and my past, and I'm gonna have to account for those one day when I get to the great beyond. Having said that, I think we're extremely judgmental, and we need to stop that shit, because we run away a lot of our own people to situations where they don't need to go, because we can't accept that maybe what we were taught growing up wasn't 100%, and maybe everything isn't as black and white as we were led to believe. That's my own personal view on that. And I'm going to put away my soapbox. That was me sliding my soapbox back on the table. But yeah, when Malik Yoba said that, I was shocked, because I'm like, oof, yikes. That dude may have just committed career suicide within the black community. Because he was a pretty prominent black actor. Like, you see him in a lot of different movies and projects, but I don't think that's the case no more. I think because of the way the world is turning, that he won't be ostracized like he probably would have 10 years ago. But I'll let hear y'all thoughts on that. That's my whole thoughts on it. I don't care who y'all go home and sleep with at night. That's y'all business. Honestly, the more dudes that like dudes, leaves more females out here for the for my cousins. But that, I digress on that point. I just want to pick y'all brain on that and see if y'all was feeling that. And a lot of people are always shocked, especially when I talk to my white friends about unacceptable behaviors in the black community. They are usually pretty shocked about our lack of understanding of people in our families and churches and whatnot that are homosexuals, which is shocking to me given how much other shit we accept. But God forbid if you enjoy penis, that's the step too far. But yeah, to each his own. I don't, to each his own. I myself, I am a fan of the cakes and pies, and that'll probably be my downfall. So to each his own. But yeah, that's it. I just wanted to kick it with y'all about that. I'm gonna let y'all go. Enjoy y'all Labor Day. Like I said, take a minute tonight if you can. Take 10 minutes, shut everything off, do a self-inventory, figure out you. Peace and love. Wait, rewind. Rewind. Netflix. So real quick, I made the error of posting something on my Facebook page earlier about Netflix deciding to do more episodic weekly shows than just binge watching shows. And at first we immediately thought that they were going to do Stranger Things weekly. I couldn't take that. So, of course, after I read the article, which I should have done in the first place, it stated that the only shows they were doing it for is a rap battle show for T.I. and the Great Britain Bake Off, or whatever it's called. I think it's called the Great Britain Bake Off is what it's called. And they did it with a few other shows. I know they did it with David Letterman's show, where they just break off episodes. Because who wants to watch 6 hours straight, hour-long episodes of him just talking to one person? So I get why that's broken down episodically. That makes sense. But they're not going to do it for Stranger Things. They're not going to do it for all those shows. So, I'm sorry for saying the sky was falling today. So, but that's it. Y'all have a good Labor Day. Enjoy yourselves. Like I said, this has been The Aaron J. This was episode 3. You know where to find us at YouTube, ABoogie83. We're on Instagram now. We got our own page, Ab Hink Media. ab_Hink Media is on our Instagram page. Again, that's AB_HINC Media. That is our official Instagram page. I definitely need to get me an intern because I am really tired of keeping up with all these different pages and emails. I really should have probably thought that through. I am definitely going to go and get me an intern from a local college, pull a Cosmo Kramer, and go ahead and get me a Darren from a local college to have him, suss out some of this stuff and build that chicken coop for me. That's a Seinfeld reference for you. For those of you who don't watch it, you're an idiot. But you got abpinkmedia.com, which is our website. And like I said, that's it. Y'all, take care of yourselves. Peace and love. And you guys have one.
Oh, baby, you are so talented. And they are so dumb.